Getting out of the comfort zone. It's a struggle for most of us when we're actually trying to create something. It's very easy to kind of scale back and not take the necessary steps that we need to take if we really want to move forward. So how do we actually go about doing this? In this video, I'm going to explain how. Hi, my name is Peter and welcome to the Hidden Online Living YouTube channel. And here in this video, I just want to explain my thought processes of how you can actually get out of the comfort zone when you want to actually start something or start a new business, etc. and what steps you can take to try and build up that confidence that you need in yourself so that you can gradually take those steps and just move forward that little bit one day at a time. So before we get into the video, please make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be made aware of future content. And feel free to share the video. And if you have any questions or queries regarding the information here, be sure to drop a comment down below. Be sure to check out that first link in the description and the pinned comment to gain access to a simple and affordable blueprint that will teach you the steps that you need to start an online business. So what steps can you actually take to get out of the comfort zone? Well, there's a variety of different steps that you can take, but the main thing that you need to be kind of acknowledging first off is, are you in the comfort zone? Are you currently in the point where you're afraid to take steps? Honestly, what actually happens to a lot of us in life in general, or a lot of stuff that goes on around us, and especially when we want to venture out and try something new or meet new people or go on dates or try and start a new project or anything, a lot of the time we're already in our own wee comfort bubble and we're afraid to come out of it, and we don't even realise we're actually in it most of the time. Because we're so focused on ourselves, we don't really kind of see the big picture, and we're kind of not aware of what's really going on around us a lot of the time. So then when we do get to a point where something actually comes into our life where we're like, that kind of threatens, or that kind of is going to change, that feels like it's going to change something, we do feel threatened, and it's very, very easy to withdraw. I know this, I'm a prime example of that. I've done it a lot throughout my life. And it's taken me a long time to take those initial steps to kind of move that forward and to try and just to see the results. Because like a lot of you out there, I was the same for years. It was always easy for me to just kind of withdraw, and when something got difficult, just to kind of crawl into your wee bubble and bury your head in the sand and hope it will go away. But the truth is, it never really does, because those patterns always keep repeating themselves unless you're willing to actually confront them. And that's a big issue that a lot of people have, is we're not really willing to confront those issues that we actually have going on in our lives. Because it's always easy to kind of just say nothing or even avoid confrontations. Like myself, I'll be honest, I don't like confrontations myself. I don't like arguing with people, because I just don't like falling out with people. That's just the way I am. I just try to get on with everybody as best I can. Even people that I don't like, I'll never allow myself to really kind of lower myself to that level, because the way you see it, you need to have a little bit of self-respect for yourself too. And that can play a big part in it. But there's so many factors that people aren't even aware of. And I was like this for a long time. And it's not until you really kind of start to question things. I've also done another video on that as well. I'll leave a link in the card, where you get to a point where you just accept the way your life is, and you just kind of just go through the motions every day, but you're always seeing the same results. You're never seeing anything change. And you will get to a point where you will start to question things, and you learn that you don't want to accept things the way they are. So how do you go through the process of actually getting out of the comfort zone? That's probably one of the first things and main things that you need to tackle. You need to get out of your own head. You need to take a step back. If it's to do with your ego, thinking that you're above and beyond all this, more often than you're not. Because we all have to start somewhere. We all have to start from the ground level and work our way up. And if pride is getting in the way, which generally does happen to a lot of us as well, you need to put that pride aside, because you really have to think of the bigger picture as to actually what you want. A lot of us in life, when we're in the comfort zone, what it relates to really is a lot of us don't really know what we want out of our lives. We don't really know where we're going. That was a big issue for me for a long time. Like, honestly, like, I'm in my mid-30s now, and it even took me a long time to figure these things out for myself as well. But a lot of us are different, and everybody's different, and everybody takes their own path, but sometimes it just takes people a wee bit longer to get there than others. But that's totally fine. There should never be a time limit on when you know, or when there's something has to be done, unless it's genuinely needed. When it comes to building your own confidence and getting out of the comfort zone and trying to take the steps you need to actually help you grow as a person, you can implement those steps as and when you're ready. Because we can't always just assume that we're just going to, oh yeah, I'll do this today, and just assume that's going to work, because we'll do it for one day and then we usually quit. You need to gradually build up certain steps. You need to build up the confidence in yourself, and you need to start figuring out ways to build up confidence so that you can start to enjoy the things that you're doing. It's only then when you start to see some results and you realize that, yes, I can actually do this. And then the confidence will start to actually develop over time. You'll start to believe in yourself a lot more. You'll realize that you actually have a lot more to offer than what you thought you didn't have before. And the funny thing is, when you get out of that comfort zone and when you build that confidence, you draw in a lot more opportunities into your life. Because when we're stuck in the comfort zone, we don't attract anything at all. Because we don't see what's going on. We're completely oblivious to what goes on the outside world, or we just point blank refuse to get involved in anything. But when you start to allow yourself to open up and show a bit more vulnerability and say to yourself that it's okay, that I can actually do this, you start to draw in more, like I said, open more doors, draw in more opportunities, even more people into your life, and you will start to eventually draw in people that can actually help you open more doors, that can actually relate to you, because most people are probably going through the same thing that you're going through. It took me a long time to figure this out as well, because like I said, and I said it in previous videos as well, I was always very, very quiet as a young person. I was always very shy and withdrawn. I would sooner sit indoors and play the PlayStation than actually really go out. Like, even to the point, I don't drink anymore. Like, to be honest, I don't miss it. But I was never really a big fan of drinking anyway. I would sooner sit in and play the computer than go out drinking with my mates. Because it just never really appealed to me. You just always kind of felt like you were doing it just for the sake of doing it to kind of fit in. But it's not until you get a wee bit older and you realise that your ideas and your views of things change. You realise that you're not really missing anything anyway. So then you need to figure out, where do you want to go? But a lot of us take a long time to figure that out, or what actually happens, like I said, going back to pride or ego, we just point blank refuse to take those initial steps. And before long, we will wake up at some point and we will look back and be like, what have I done with my life? I should have done this years ago. I've asked myself that same question for a long, long time. But just note that just because you didn't do something years ago, as long as you're taking action now and doing something now, that doesn't matter, because the key thing is what you do now is important. It doesn't matter what age you are. Some people just take that little bit longer to figure things out. But as long as you're willing to be aware of that and take those necessary steps, everything else will start to eventually fall into place in time. It's not easy, mind you. Some of us have our own hurdles and things to deal with in our lives. I've had to overcome a lot of hurdles myself, trying to actually gain the confidence in myself to even say, go outside and just kind of mingle with people. I, for one, hated being in big crowds. That was a huge thing for me. That was one of the things I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone at all. I just couldn't relate to being in a big crowd. As soon as I get into a big crowd, I would find that I would actually get tired and exhausted very quickly, and I'd sooner withdraw and just go home just to avoid it. But one of the key things that actually helped me to grow was when I got qualified as being a personal trainer and eventually got a job. I was working part-time in a local gym in town, close to me, where I live, and I started training classes, groups of classes where I had 20 or 30 people. And I'll never forget the first day that I actually done the class. I was a nervous wreck. I was standing right in front of all these people, and I was always used to kind of just being told what to do and just sit back and actually just do it. Not being the one that being the leader, basically, and actually telling people what to do. For me, that was absolutely terrifying. And I just didn't know what to do. But then I just kind of said to myself, you know what I done was I wrote down a list of exercises that I knew I could do, and I knew myself that people could follow along with them easy enough. And even the guy that was running the gym, he says, Peter, you'll be fine. Just teach them what you already know, what works for you. So exactly, I did that. And funny enough, I got it over me. And yeah, I was still nervous for a couple of weeks. But once I got that initial first class out of the way, it's amazing how things just changed after that. And it actually did help me to move on to other things. Because I realised then that I didn't have to fear big crowds, and I could train the class now with 30 people, and I can shout orders, and it doesn't bother me at all. I don't think about it anymore. It's insane. But that's only because I took those initial steps, and I forced myself to get out of my comfort zone, because I knew it was something that I needed to do for myself. Because the only way to grow is to put yourself in those situations, and I knew I had to do it. But as time has gone on, I found myself getting more confident in so many other areas, like even like what I'm doing now. Like, I know initially when I started my channel, and I have mentioned this in some of my previous videos, where I was only doing like screen recordings because I still wasn't really too comfortable or confident on camera or even talking into the microphone. But as the months have gone on, again, that's another step, because I knew myself, it's like, right, I've grown in so many areas. Now's the time to really kind of step it up and start taking that leap, those leaps, and really just going for it. And if I kept staying in my comfort zone, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you now. Truth is anybody, any of us can do it. You've got to want to do it. You've got to make a decision in your mind, and you have to say to yourself, this is what I want. I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to let anybody stand in my way. And then you just stand by that, and eventually things just start to snowball and you will see the results. I know it's different for everybody, and I get that. Like I said, I have been there. But you try to take those steps to get out of your own comfort zone. Just take whatever steps you feel comfortable with at that time and allow yourself to grow at your own pace. But the one thing is never be afraid. It is daunting and it can be intimidating when we're trying something new. Like I do, like say even on some of my other videos, I do tutorials. And I have to go and learn certain things like with page builders and website builders and stuff. But I do enjoy that stuff. But at the same time, my initial reaction is when I first go into it, I do sometimes hesitate. And it still happens to me even today, where I'm looking at it and I'm like, it hasn't clicked with me at first. I don't understand it. But then I say to myself, you know what, just get in and just gradually take it step by step. Even if it takes you a couple of days to do it, you'll figure it out. And I find by using that, it's amazing. I can actually start to piece things together, and just pretty much you learn by doing. Just by doing the work, it starts to just make sense. And then eventually then it leads me on to when I've gotten familiar with it, and when I do understand it, that's when I say to myself, right, I'm comfortable now. I know I can do this. So I go, and that's when I record my video. And I try to teach the steps of what people would be looking for if they're looking to how to build a website, or if they're trying to figure this problem out. That's where I'll try to base my tutorials around. Try and help people search those queries, or to help them with issues that they actually are going through themselves when they're wanting to do similar things. It's the same even here with this video. The reason why I'm standing here talking to you now is because I want to ensure you that it is okay to take your time to get out of your comfort zone. But you have to be willing to do it. Because if you take a step back and just hide in the shadows and stand at the back of the background and in the queue, nobody's really going to know who you are, and nobody's going to really relate to you, because you do have a lot to offer, but until you put yourself out there, people don't see that. And this was an issue for me for a long time. I was fighting with myself for so many years to try and do that. But I always knew I wanted to do something, and it always kind of was eating away at me. I was like, you know what, Peter, you have to do something. You have to do this. And I'm sure a lot of you right there are thinking the exact same. You're constantly thinking, you know what, I know I can have so much to offer, but how do I go about doing it? You will find ways. You just try and find things that really you're passionate about. That's probably the easiest way that I can relate to. Like, even with doing the camera stuff now here, I wasn't sure of it at first, but now I've actually grown to really like it, and I actually am passionate about it, because when I do think of something, I straight away want to get the camera out and just speak my mind and just say what I need to say. And I'm finding I'm getting more confident by doing it as well, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here doing this. And the same can work for everyone else, but you just take those initial steps. Everybody's different. Everybody will find their own way. But at the same time, never be afraid to reach out. If there's something that you genuinely don't know and you're stuck, never be afraid to reach out. Always ask questions. And again, I have done another video on this where I go and explain that, where they say never accept things as they are and always question things. And that's a good way to be, because if you want to grow, you have to be willing to implement those steps. So even for you do want to reach out or ask questions, I'll leave my email down below and you can reach out to me and I can try and answer any questions that you do have. If there's something that you kind of can relate to in this video, because I know myself, I've been there. I still have my good days and bad days, just like everybody else, because we're all human at the end of the day. But just know that you're not in this alone, that everybody around you at some point, there's something going on in their lives that they're struggling with, and they need to figure out a way to get out of their comfort zone in order to move forward. But as long as everybody's willing to do it, you will start to see results. And the same can be said for an online business. Whether you want to get on video, when you want to do like blog posts or any shape or form, you just need to take those initial steps. It'll work itself out in time. But as long as you're willing to just do a little bit of work each and every day, you'll be amazed how quickly your confidence will grow, and you will actually start to see things starting to work. But you will only do that as long as you're willing to take those steps. So hopefully you found the information here in this video to be helpful, and I hope that it's given you some insight that you don't have to be afraid, that you can take those steps to get out of the comfort zone and do what it is that you need to do to move yourself forward or move your business forward. It's actually not so bad out there. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and feel free to share the video. Also, if you do have any questions or queries regarding the information here, be sure to drop a comment down below. Again, check out the first link in the description and the pinned comment to gain access to a simple and affordable blueprint that will teach you the steps that you need to get started with your online business. Also, make sure to check out some of the other videos and stuff that I have on my channel regarding helpful guides, tutorials, etc. that will actually teach you valuable steps that you need when you're wanting to implement certain strategies for your business to help it to grow. And again, I will see you all in the next one.